is up, guys? Welcome back to the Motorhead YouTube channel, guys. I do apologize for the delays we've been having. We have been trying to get this car onto the frame machine, and we've had a couple jobs that we had to finish, but we're good now. The car is on the frame. Now we can go ahead and start strapping it down. But before, I'd like to mention we also stripped out the engine bay. We got the whole wiring harness out, the dashboard and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll that footage for you guys. So we pretty much got everything off that we need to. I got the ABS off. It was kind of tricky because it was stripping out, so I just got some vice grips, came right off. I also need to take off this brake booster, but I need to get inside to get to that, and also the fuse box, but I'm not sure how to do that. I might have to look that up. For now, I'm just going to take off this AC line just to get it out of the way. Alright guys, so now I can start removing this booster right here. It is just simply 4 bolts underneath here, and then I also have to get this disconnected from the booster, and it should slip right out. Alright, so now that this brake booster is off, we have access to all these wires, and everything pretty much goes into the firewall, so we are going to have to actually remove this dashboard right here. That way we can get everything out of there, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, so this bird nest is almost out. It's kind of stupid how B&W made it all one piece, so I do have to pull this whole thing out, but that's okay. Pretty much I've gotten everything out. Now I just need to get these 2 plugs. These are the only ones holding it in, but I can't reach it, so I'm gonna have to get this car on the lift, and then I can get them out. So we got the e30 clamped down. Now we're ready to actually start measuring.
Alright guys, so what we want to do is take some pre-measurements first. So we're going to take our measuring device and set it on some points that we can use as reference points, which we've got identical holes here and there on both sides. So we're going to lock this in, make sure that it's right on that hole, dips in there freely. And then we'll flip it this way, put that one in there. If you come over here and check this out, you'll see that we're way over. So basically what this is telling us is that our front end has been knocked over to the right side. And we already know that, but it's good to take measurements to see how much we actually need to pull, because sometimes you'll over pull it if you don't measure it before, and then you have to pull it back, and we're not about that. So we already know that we're about, if we look at this right here, you have to divide this distance in half, because as you pull, it's gonna cut itself in half each time. So we don't necessarily need to pull this much. About half of this distance is about how much it needs to go that way. because actually if we pull this amount of distance that way, we're gonna be too far that way. So you gotta keep an eye on that too. All right, so if you take a look right here, you'll see that we've got some damage to the frame rail. And what I think caused this buckle right here is the fact that this rail got pushed in from the impact on this side. It got hit right in the wheel. And you can see it bowed this apron in, as well as pushing this entire rail that way. And if you check this out right here, you'll see that it's folded right here, which means basically we have to pull this rail forward. And as we're pulling it forward, we need to come out with it. And that'll bring all this out and straighten us out. Also, if you look here, this rail's been folded a little bit, so it's closed like that. And that means that when we're gonna pull this rail out, we're gonna have to pull by the outer wall instead of the entire rail. All right, so we've got our boom in the position about where we need it. It actually adjusts with micro adjustments there, so we don't have to move it anymore. And we actually noticed some more damage here. If you look in here where this rear apron is, it's all crumpled up from where the shock tower had got pushed back into it.
Yeah, and we didn't even notice it at first because the fuse box was there.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate.
We didn't see any of this. I mean, I never really looked at it, and then all the parts were on it and everything. I mean, it looked like somebody dolled it up, really. No,
nah. No, it was just all unnoticeable.
Yeah, we were so excited, or they were so excited about the car that they didn't even look at any of this. Like, nobody cared.
I mean, I feel like if I would have looked down in there, I would have seen all that.
Yeah, you would have, but nobody was looking.
Hey, but I've been trying to get this car forever. It's my dream car, you know,
How long
so.
was it sitting over there?
A good minute. He didn't want to sell it because
he did not want to get rid of that car.
Yeah, he liked it, but whatever. We're gonna do the work because I really like this car and I want to get it done. So, what do you think? We should probably take that shock off. Yeah.
We're gonna take this shock off, and then we're gonna start attaching points where we're gonna use the hydraulics to pull everything out with. So we're gonna drop this shock real quick and get a couple of little attachments to put on here.
All right. Check this out. We got everything nice and clean in here. It's gonna be a perfect working environment for tomorrow because this is a big task. We don't want it all to be dirty, you know, get burned out easily. And in case there's any oil on the frame or anything, we won't slip. So it's all ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow it'll all be dry and we can work on it. So I'm gonna catch you guys in the morning because it is getting late and I'm tired. All right, so it is the next day here, guys. We're on a fresh head. We got the car on the frame. Everything's nice and clean. And what we're gonna start off with is actually this wire wheel on this grinder, because we actually want to start cleaning off the side under here, all the undercoating. That way we can weld to it, because we do need to pull it this way. So let's get to it. Alright, so Yuri has cleaned off all of this undercoating and seam sealer. Now he has these plates and he's getting ready to weld them on there. So let's get to it. Alright, so after the first pull on the apron, it's actually looking a lot straighter. Now we're gonna pull from the shock. We're gonna pull from a high point and forward. That way it moves it outwards to where it needs to be and gets rid of these kinks. Alright guys, a little update on this back section. Look how nice it's coming out. We're not even close to done with it. So we're just gonna keep on going. So you already got most of the framework done over here. You beat all this out and it's looking like it's in its original spot. What we actually need to do now is actually check the square, check it and see how far we're off wall. Which hole did you get to? This one?
That other one. Yeah, that one. Reset it.
Alright, so we are off, but we knew that because if you can see, this frame is actually still folded in right here. So we actually need to pull it out a little bit and straighten all that out, and it'll actually get our support back where we need it. We're just taking it easy and doing one pull at a time. That way we don't over pull it, because it's a lot easier to pull it more than have to pull it back. So let's get started on this rail. So in order to get this all out, we actually have to pull the top section of the rail now. We pulled the bottom and now the bottom is where it needs to be, but it's still in here. So I actually cut up this piece right here and Yuri's gonna weld it in just like that, like he did on the bottom. And once we pull that out, we can beat this as we're pulling that out and slowly smooth it out, and it'll be back to OEM. Dead on it. Yes, sir. It's looking good. As you can see, guys, it is all squared out. Everything's coming out nice, and we're just moving right along.
Yeah, we just need to straighten out this frame rail right here. It's just a little bit bowed, and then everything else is cosmetic.
Yeah, and we also will have to test fit body parts.
Yeah.
Might not
once
be.
we have all the squares, right, the diamond.
Yeah, it might not be in this episode though.
Yeah.
I was gonna have to stay tuned for that. But yeah. Alright guys, that is going to be it for this video. We got a lot of work done on the frame. I was actually really bummed out when I seen that extra damage under the fuse box, but luckily we were able to get it all back into its original spot. Yuri did a good job. In the next episode, we'll actually start fitting all of our body panels just to see how it all lines up. We did check the square on the support and everything's looking to be squared out, so that is good. And also in the next episode, I actually want to start shaving this engine bay. I want to start making it smooth and really clean. So stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to be really nice. I'm really happy with the progress. It's moving along. Once we get this engine bay done and the framework done, we can actually just start going ahead and hitting the bodywork full speed. And that's going to be awesome. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and comment down below. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at motorhead.co. Peace.